All right. Next offer, Spike Brennan. Steph Roy. Steffi, do. Why you? I know they're working, so, but I still want to know if they're having a good time with this. He is just grading. Yeah, I know. I just miss seeing your name pop up. We got Alpha Spike Brennan, and the last looking carefully, the last one we had from them was 2553. So it has been quite some time. 2553. I am the law. Oh, was this the one where like a bunch of like random laws were created, and like it was like this like law making SCP, but it also was a little bit of a whiny bitch. It was like it was a lot of like things that the laws were more like helping them out, benefiting them. I think that was how it went. I might be wrong though. Now these folks are making rookie mistakes. They're lucky if they get B's. Yeah, and also, if the US needs one thing, is not being told lies about their grades. They need to know how dumb or how smart they are for real. All right, the stuff that dreams are made of. All right, that's a nice little title. Maybe this one is wholesome. Again, we've been hoping for wholesome SCPs this whole time. Like, just give us one. Object class safe. Good start. The contain procedures. Only personnel who submit a formal request and receive approval from site command may operate SB2914. SB2914 is to be stored in locker B. 2109B when not in use. Descriptions. SB2914 is a glass-fronted wooden cabinet 66 centimeters in height and 38 centimeters in width, composed of unremarkable materials. The cabinet contains 3 glass shelves. The back of the interior of the cabinet is a mirrored surface. Every Wiccan has one of these cabinets. Am I wrong? The cabinet contains 22 stoppered glass bottles, each with a capacity of approximately 0.1 liters. Under normal non-testing conditions, these bottles are empty. SB2914's primary anomalous attribute manifests when a human subject physically touches the glass front of SB2914, while specifically recalling a particular memory. Under those circumstances, the glass front momentarily becomes opaque, then transparent again to reveal that some or all of the bottles within the cabinet have been filled with various substances. Okay, that already sounds pretty non-dangerous or non-traumatic. Partial test log of SB2914 deconstruction configuration follows. Reminds me of a cabinet my grandpa used to have. Yeah, I feel like these cabinets used to be like in almost every household, right? And here we have one doing testing. Math was kicking my ass last year, sometimes an F, sometimes an E, and good as a C. Oy, ay, ay. Zeno, oy, ay, 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 ay. That no good. Test reference 0001. Subject D3804. Description of test. Subject was asked to recall a pleasant memory. Subject said that he would think of a trip that he had once taken to Key West, Florida. Result bottles were filled with the following substances / materials: 1. Beach sand, 2. Liquid identified as low quality tequila, 3. Seawater, 4. Strip of terry cloth, 5. Cigar ash, and 6. Sunscreen, coconut scented. Okay. Now, unless they think of something horrible and they get like some weird shit in those bottles, I would state this wholesome. Or at least not traumatic. Test reference 0023. Subject D4962. Description of test. Subject, a military veteran, was asked to recall an episode during his combat service in Chechnya. Bottles were filled with the following substances and materials: 1. Concrete fragments and dust, 2. Diesel fuel comparable to that used by Russian army for BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicle, 3. Vodka contaminated with soil, 4 substances tentatively identified as partially digested military rations. 5 ice. 6 human blood. 7 human blood from a different person. Yeah, that's why I was like a little bit, oh, maybe this could go in a dark direction. 8 small full map of a valley near the city of Grozny. 9 page of the Quran cut into thin strips. 10 several disassembled components of magazines of AK-74 assault rifles. And 11 sandy soil. Test reference 0041. Subject D5751. Description of test. Subject was asked to recall her earliest childhood memory. Subject described earliest memory as a kindergarten playground incident. Bottles were filled with the following substances and materials. 1. Red finger paint. 2. Milk. 3. Carrot sticks. 4. Broken crayons, orange and purple. 5. Foam stuffing consistent with the content of a child plush toy. 6. Polyester carpet fibers. 7. Several strips of urine-soaked cotton cloth. And 8. Human tears and mucus. That makes sense. Test reference 058. Researcher Libowitz. Subject was asked to recall his lunch eaten inside 22 canteen earlier that day. Bottles were filled with the following substance / materials. 1. Diet soda. 2 shreds of baked chicken. 3. Off-brand cat soup. 4 strips of paper napkin. 5 linoleum disc materials comparable to a tabletop of canteen furnishing. 6 feces of ratus. What? Why was the rat feces in that? 7 page from the daily racing form cut into shreds. And 8 $5.81 in United States currency bills and coins. Imagine me using SB2914 and asked to recall about my mischief I did with my sister as kids. It probably would be some weird stuff. Maybe a snake would be in it because your sister scared you with a snake. Test reference 061. Subject D6312. Well, you do know food is made animal products, right? Yeah, but what rat shit was in it, which is still concerning. Well, that's at the end, I guess. Yeah. If you eat something that's made out of meat, they probably ate something and the animal was a meat eater. Some chips are made of beaver shit. In your country, maybe. No, I said you kissed her. I think like sister, but instead of an S, it's a K. Test reference 061. Subject D6 312. Description of test. The 1993 film Gettysburg was exhibited to subject. Subject was asked to recall the film. Assault. Bottles were filled with the following substances / materials. 1 popcorn. 2 off-brand cola consistent with beverage consumed by subject while viewing the film. Test reference 062. Subject D6344. Description of test. The 1993 film Gettysburg was exhibited to subject. Subject suffers from schizophrenia, indicates a diminished capacity to distinguish fact from fiction. Subject was coached to believe that subject had personally witnessed the events depicted in the film. Bottles were filled with the following substances / materials. Popcorn. What the fuck? Diphenylbutylpiperidine. Let's see what this fucking thing is. It's a class of typical antipsychotic drugs which were all synthesized, developed, and marketed by Janssen. Okay. Include. Closely related antipsychotic. Gotcha. Makes sense. Lithium carbonate. 4 approximately 30 centimeters of tightly wound Betamax videotape, which upon analysis contained a recording of a segment of the film. No, it was an avenue worth exploring. Oh, my mistake. It's not chips, it's vanilla. I would not mind doing some testing with, of course you do. No, I mean, this one seems like as long as you think of something wholesome, you're good. And even then, like, if something unwholesome happens in multiple bottles, it's not like you have to open the bottle up. Test reference 0063. Subject D7212. Subject was awakened from REM sleep and asked to recall her dream. Subject reported experiencing an anxiety dream but having failed to study for a high school examination. Result single bottle containing strip of cotton sheeting consistent with subject's cot inside 22. D-class secure dormitory. Note this appears to be another blind alley. Alley. Not ally. Alley. Test reference 0052. Subject D2834. Different test subject underwent hypnosis and was asked to recall her earliest memory. Result single bottle filled with human amniotic fluid. Test reference 0065. Subject D37451. Description of test subject was asked to recall a memory from the period of time she was suffering from leukemia. Result bottles were filled with the following substances / materials: 1. Alkylating agents. 2. Cyclophosphamide. 3. Ifosfamide. 4. Melphalan. 5. Blood containing cancer cells and matched DNA of D37451. Okay, damn. Note: subject did not seem to know the names of effects of the chemicals created. This seems to indicate that 2914 has some idea of chemical compositions of different substances. Test reference 01 again. Okay, subject D2914 notably has severe retrograde amnesia. Okay. Description of test subject was instructed to touch SB2914 due to communication barriers. A specific memory could not be selected. Bottles were filled with the following substances / materials: a single bottle with a single smaller bottle which also contains a smaller bottle. This pattern reaches 53 consecutive bottles before ending in a glass cylinder that has no open space. Okay, they could test this on sapient ancients, SCPs, and possibly get a dino blood or something. They could. Not sure why they would, but they could. After briefing D4962 following the test of SB2914, Dr. Morrison inspected SB2914 to document the contents of the bottles. In the course of doing so, Dr. Morrison briefly touched the glass front of the cabinet before the bottles had been removed or disturbed. Dr. Morrison reported that he experienced a first-person hallucination which corresponded to the details of SCP-2 these of D4962's collection. Imagine if Henry did a testing with 2914. The cabinet would explode. To make Jurassic Park, it would be honestly hilarious if the SCPs were, if the Foundation was so strict and headstrong with like, we cannot show anybody something that is an anomaly. We cannot show a single regular person this shit. Well, make Jurassic Park and let people go in the fuck yeah, dude. It's like wait, what? Out of all the things, this is okay? And then 2, researcher Markin Kivitsk attempt to replicate Dr. Morrison's experience by causing D5452, a 52-year-old woman, to touch the glass front of the cabinet about an hour after test 0023 involving D4962. By this time, the ice in bottle 5 had melted, and portions of the samples in other bottles had been removed for testing. D5452 reported experiencing a first-person hallucination that involved a bumpy ride for several hours inside a BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicle, following which the point of view exited the vehicle and marched with other Russian soldiers into a barracks. Extensive interviewing of D5452 regarding the details of the scenery and setting of the barracks indicated that it was located in northern France. There are no historical reports of Russian military forces operating a BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicle or maintaining a military presence in that region. The experience prompted Dr. Morrison and researcher Marcinkiewicz to commence a separate series of tests. Partial test log of SCP-2914 and its anti-deconstruction configuration follows. Oh, that's a lot of tests here. Test reference 0166. Subject D7871. Description of test: researcher Marcinkiewicz filled balls as follows: 1. Soil obtained from Central Park, New York City. 2. Grass clippings obtained from Central Park, New York City. 3. Water, New York City, tap water. 4. Rolled up newspaper clipping advertising a Shakespeare in the Park event. And 5. Cigarette. Result: subject had never visited New York City. Subject report experiencing a hallucination of a visit to Central Park. Subject's description of some park landmarks differed from their real-world counterparts. Okay, interesting. Differed from the real-world counterparts. Test reference 0182. Subject DA386. Description of test: researcher must fill balls as follows: 1. Sample of D8386 blood. 2. Air with concentration of oxygen and sulfur dioxide. 3. Seawater. 4. Limestone. 5. burnt frond. And 6. Crushed powdered coal. Result: subject reported hallucination of standing on the shores of the sea while several large animals, presumably hadrosaurs, based on the description given, grazed nearby. Hey, here you go. You have your dinosaurs after all. Test reference 0184. Subject DA392. Description of test: researcher Marcinkiewicz filled balls as follows: 1. Seawater. 2. Sand. 3. Blood of Crocodilus porosus, saltwater crocodile. And 4. Fish viscera. Result: after recovering from severe nausea, subject report experiencing the sensation of being a female Crocodilus porosus during the act of okay. Test reference 0188. Subject D7884. Description of test: researcher Marcinkiewicz filled balls as follows. Well, looks like before, as I said before, it's not wholesome. It's just all chances of something weird happening, and now we had this. Now we had somebody having the memory of getting banged by a crocodile while thinking they are a crocodile. At least the memory of it. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. The high number of tests is why SCP is number 2914. Am I missing something with the 914? Test reference 0188. Subject D7884. Description the clock. Oh. Of course, yeah, of course. Description of test: researcher Marcinkiewicz filled balls as follows: 1. Distilled water. 2. Liquefied heated polyethylene. 3. Iron fillings. Is that gonna be like a running gag? It's like every 914 gonna be like this? Subject blacked out for approximately 35 minutes. When subject recovered, subject reported having experienced the sensation of asphyxiation in outer space after extensive interviews conducted with the use of hypnosis and nootropic medications. Subject was able to describe the environment that she had observed during her experience, which consisted of the interior of an orbital space station operation by the Indian Space Research Organization, the hull of which had been damaged, exposing the interior to the vacuum of space. The Indian Space Research Organization has not to date ever launched a space station. Subject experienced acute PTSD and has been deemed unsuitable for future testing. You have like a 10-hour 10 hours cute. 10 hours cute. 50. I have a 50-hour recording of of 914. Yeah. I do have that. How have you not gone insane, child? You're asking me this now? Almost 3,000 SCPs in, you're asking me this now? Yeah, we read that one. Okay. Test reference 2932. Subject D11328. Dr. Morrison filled balls as follows. 1. Sample of D11328 blood. Sample of blood of D0936, a D-class personnel stationed at a different facility who had never encountered D11328. 3. Grass clippings from several widely separated sources. 4. Soil samples from several widely separated sources. 5. Wine blend of 2 different vintages not normally available for purchase at the same place. 6 strips of musculature of several different animals. Was he with me at that point already? I think he was. I think Henry was already. Yeah, no, he was. He was just not in the room with me. 7 metal fillings obtained from samplings various historical artifacts, including a Roman era iron architectural components, a bronze Tang Dynasty Chinese bell, and an iron spearhead from Southern Africa. Also, strips of musculature of several different animals. I did not read that. Result: subject blacked out for several hours. Upon recovery, subject was confused and distressed and had lost the ability to communicate in English. For the course of a series of interviews conducted over a period of weeks with the liberal use of nootropic medicines, researchers learned that subject was able to communicate in an archaic form of the Telugu language. Subject, although female, identified as a male and reported that he had lived for at least 30 years as a traveling merchant, transporting merchandise over the land from the region of Khorasan, Central Asia, to the city of Amaldomoglu, which does not appear on historical records, but according to D11328's account, was located on the east bank of the Volga River, near the northern Caspian Sea. Most of the details of D11328's report do not correspond to identifiable historical places or events, but the report included an account matching the description of SN 1054, a supernova in the constellation Taurus that occurred in the year 1054 AD. Subject last chronological recollection was of a Deva attack, after which subject could not recall any subsequent events. Subject had no recollection of her life before the test. What a fucking effect to have after all this. Test reference 2937, subject D114078. Description of test: Dr. Morrison filled with balls as follows: 1 coffee from side 22 break room, 2 fresh water, and 4 data expunged. The fuck did you put in this, Dr. Morrison? What the hell did you put in this drink, Dr. Morrison? Result: subject reported hallucination of unremarkable events inside 22's D-class secured dormitory. 4 days after test, D114078 escaped from secure dormitory, apparently by means of successfully impersonating Dr. Morrison and obtaining unauthorized access to Site 22's data filed in security center. Dr. Morrison was killed during the escape. D114078's whereabouts are unknown. Damn. For the great SCP, the last one sounded intense. All of them were. Wait, all of them sounded intense, or all of the SCPs were great? Whew. And all of them were great, gotcha. Perhaps the last one was the balls I did testing with. Don't you like to fill balls with redacted? I do it like all the time. No, I do prefer my data expunged bottles. I do prefer my bottles being filled with data expunged. Redacted is a bit too risky for me. That's how I roll, at least. Dr. Morrison, we saw you put 4 data expunged in these bottles. What were you thinking? What were you thinking?